Hey, what's up guys, Xross Boost here and welcome back to another Digimon gameplay video. Today we have another match from locals featuring Bloomlordmon on the right. And on the left we have a deck I think I've never featured before on the channel. At least not post-banlist, which is actually Xross Heart, so it will be pretty fun to see that. We saw the Bloomlord player Bruce flexing his hand there. Or well, not necessarily flexing because it is terrible. But yeah, Xross Heart against Bloomlord. Honestly, I feel like Bloomlord is favored in this matchup. I wouldn't even say that Bloomlord is necessarily the better deck, like it probably is, but only because I think Bloomlord is extremely strong, and I honestly think Xross Heart is like a tier 1.5 deck, only just nobody's playing it, but I think the power level is still relatively high. It's also a little bit like Deep Brigade, where it's one of those decks where if your opponent bricks, it can definitely be super fast in just closing out the game, which you might very well be seeing here. However, I do think in this matchup Bloomlord is pretty much favored because of two reasons. One is the save mechanic only works when your Digimon is deleted, so if it gets bottom decked by Hydramon, you don't get to save your Digimon. And then there's also Bloomlord playing the Pomemon from BT9, I think it is, that says Digimon can't be played by card effect. And of course the entire Xross Heart deck is basically based or built around playing your Digimon via the Tamer effects, which you can't do if the Pomemon is on the field. So if Bloomlord gets that out relatively fast, or just has a, like a really good opening, going into a Hydramon and flooding the board, it's definitely very rough for Xross Heart to win in my opinion. However, as we see now, Xross Heart is just going super fast, already having done 2 damage, and there's 3 guys on board to swing next turn, and Bloomlord here won't be able to out any of the guys on the field. And we also see Crimson Blaze in the hand of the Xross Heart player Rodney, which is, of course, also pretty much like a hard counter card against Bloomlord. So there's definitely a fair chance that Xross Heart still takes the match. But we'll see. For now, definitely not looking good for Bloomlord, that's for sure. We can pretty much for certain say that Xross Heart is going to win this game, I would say. Don't really see a world where Bloomlord suddenly comes back into this game. So yeah, the last checks being done here. Probably considering if he wants to swing with Ballistamon or keep the blocker effect, but he actually ups to swing. So now Bloomlord does have... Oh, I was gonna say he will have Mimi and double memory boost, so he will have 7 memory to work with next turn, but there's not gonna be a next turn, because we're just going to see the Shoutmon Kingsmon come down, get the Rush Inheritable from the regular Shoutmon, and that's gonna be dead, right? Alright, going into game 2. I feel like both decks want to start probably in this matchup, just because Xross Heart is such a rush deck, right? And Bloomlord just always has that good opening turn where you can go into the 1-drop level 4. Or this also works. Pomemon. With the Pomemon BT9 making its first appearance in this match. And we're definitely going to see how powerful it is, I think. We're going to see Sparrowmon, and now, yes, it is possible to play the Tamers, and yes, it is possible to play the Digimon, but it's not possible to play both of them at the same time, so basically he has to pay the full value for them, right? So we see Zenjiro come down here, not play out Ballistamon because he can't. And he actually has to pass here. That's definitely pretty rough. Definitely not one he wants to be seeing, and that gives Bruce more time to build up, and he actually goes into Hydramon here, and also Memory Choke. Xross Heart to 1. Swing, draw a card. I think we saw Crimson Blaze in his hand, and he does need a red source to be able to play that, but we're not seeing that here. We see Ballistamon come down though, and he is able to tap Danger to gain the memory, so Ballistamon essentially costs 3, sort of, but not really doing much here, right? Hydramon not coming out just yet. Probably wants to have a little bit more setup to do like a really big push, or maybe he doesn't quite have the pieces yet that he needs to do whatever it is he wants to do. However, I would probably assume it's the first, since he would probably play some kind of Searcher if he didn't have the pieces instead of Mimi, which is like more of a setup piece. But we see the, what's her name? Akira, is that it? Come down, but again doesn't do anything, can't bring out the Dorulumon, which definitely would be good now, because I think it would out the Pomemon. But yeah, we do see here that that's probably why the Hydramon didn't come out quite yet, because he also needs to out his own Pomemon to start playing, right? Because Pomemon is actually one of the few floodgates that works for both players, so both players can't play Digimon via card effects. And this is sort of good for Xross Heart as well, because now the Pomemon is gone. However, we will probably, or very likely, be seeing Bloomlord go very wide. Hydramon tap the Palmon, bring out EX3 Pokemon. We see Cherrymon coming down, Digisorb, so we'll be costing 1, and the Pokémon is going to suspend the Ballistamon. Draw a card from the Gummymon Inheritable. And now we might see... Oh, we're just going to see a swing, that's definitely fair enough. Hitting Taiki, so that's nice for Xross Heart. That's basically the best tamer in the deck, right? Revealing double X5, I think it is. Adding one of them to the hand. And putting Terulimon on their Taiki, I think, or was it Starmon? So I couldn't quite tell. And now we see Agitarmon actually evolve for the full cast into Hydramon. And it won't be able to gain any memory now, so the Pokemon having the mandatory effect there to suspend the Ballistamon. Actually, a little bit unfortunate, because you probably, if you had the option, you would have wanted to do Hydramon suspend the Ballistamon to gain back 3 memory. It essentially costs 2 to evolve. But now, Xross Heart is on, 5 memory. So he does have a lot of memory to work with. However, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do here. The Cherrymon is very strong at this moment, because it means that Xross Heart won't be able to just swing freely at Secure to get that Starmon's draw. We do see Sunrise Buster though, which of course, as we all know, it is at 1 for this deck, I guess. Maybe for the Maiko mode, what's called Sakuyamon, but honestly it's all the most played in this deck, I think, and for good reason. However, we did see no Tamer coming down. So there was probably a little bit of an error on the Xross Heart player's part, because he used the Sunrise Buster to lower the Hydramon, but then he still couldn't out the Hydramon with the Crimson Blaze. I think. I'm not 100% sure what happened, to be honest. Yeah, I think so, because he lowered the Hydramon to 7,000 and then the Crimson Blaze, which deletes 6,000 or lower, so he only deleted level 3s, right? Yeah, so a little bit of a misplay there. That's unfortunate. Not sure how much it would have mattered, but we do know that in the late game that Sunrise Buster is extremely strong. So yeah, unfortunate. For now, we see Sunflowerman come down though, and he's going to tap it. He can't bring out Digimon because of the effect of Crimson Blaze. However, he can use the effect to just not bring out something, but it will trigger the Gummymon Inheritables to draw cards, which is not the worst, I guess. Now we see a little bit of a thing from the Bloomlord side. However, he's in such a good position, right? Playing Samadhi Santi for essentially free, because he will gain a memory from the... what's it called? The Hydramon. We see memory boosts. And that's actually going to pass the turn. So the Spearamon is going to remain on the field, which is... oh no, it's not going to remain on the field. Silly me. Hydramon effect, end of turn, of course. Yeah, looking quite rough for Xross Heart here. Not quite sure how he plans to get back into the game. Again, the Hydramon putting the stuff to the bottom deck is so strong, because it really directly conflicts with what the Xross Heart deck wants to do. See another Zendrio come down, and this time it can play out the Ballistamon, so that is nice. And it can also tap double Zendrio to gain the memory back and draw a card from the Akira, so he goes to 1. And then actually has to play the Grand Assault to out the Hydramon here. Which, yes, it does out the Hydramon, but it does give Bloomlord so many memory. In fact, if he wants to, he has 10 memory to work with. No, he has 9. I guess, yeah, 9 memory to work with because of the memory boost, right? But that's still a lot, especially for a deck with, like Bloomlord, which has one of the higher ceilings in the game. Probably only beaten by Minervamon in terms of what it can do in 1 turn. So definitely a very scary play. Going to go Palmon there. I think he added both Bloomlord and Sunflowermon coming down, which is also going to play out the guy, very likely. When Digivolving, bring out Palmon. Then first going to draw from the Gummymon, I think. And then he's going to Palmon at Blossomon and Bloomlord, very strong. Maybe we will actually see game being put on the board this turn. See the memory boosts. Putting him to 4, evolving to Terriermon and raising. And he also does have the Mimi to potentially, if he wants to bring out the Terriermon and swing for game here. 4 security left, so I definitely think he should be able to do it. Maybe he will have to get a little bit lucky on the security checks. Going to tap the Palmon for the Agitarmon effect. Bring out the red Vegemon, which he can suspend for Blossomon if he wants to. Yeah, he's going to do that, evolve over the Sunflower. Because the Sunflower can still attack this turn if it unsuspends because of Bloomlord, right? Going to Bloomlord here. Going to gain 4 memory. So that's nice. And then another one for Hydramon. And attack with security attack plus 2, I think it is. Yeah, 16k. Security attack plus 2. Hit into Taiki. Honestly doubt this is going to save Xross Heart, but who knows? Who knows? There might be something like Grendel Soul on the security. Or possibly another Crimson Blaze wouldn't be bad. Another Taiki. But it's just going to be game if he has another Bloomlordmon, right? So it doesn't really matter. Oh, he doesn't even have to have Bloomlord. He can simply just tap Mimi and then bring out the Terriermon. Then he can swing with Cherry, which has to be blocked by the Ballista. And then Terriermon can swing for game, which is probably what we're going to see. Yeah. So Terriermon swings. He has to block this. And then Terriermon can just go for game. Yeah. So actually a surprisingly grindy game, but I really felt like Bloomlord was in control for the vast majority of it. Even though the game took quite a while, had a lot of turns. And even despite the Crimson Blaze, right? We do see, that's weird, missing the rookie there for Xross Heart. Definitely going to put the Dragonic under and then add the Starmons to hand so he can evolve over it. We see Crimson Blaze being bottom decked. Not sure how many he's playing, but it must be good to see that happen when you're the Bloomlord player. Pomon going to evolve there over Gummymon. And once again we see Pomon from the BT9 come down. And a memory boost, so putting Xross Heart to 3. And the boost actually going to pick up Sunflowermon, bottom decking at least one Bloomlord. Now we do see the rookie, the Starmons. Must feel so bad when you're playing this deck when you miss the rookie, right? Because you really want to go for that early aggression, want to get those draw from the Pikmons, Digitama. So you're just like sort of one turn behind. Of course, it's like that with every deck, but specifically with this deck. And he's going to play the Tamer and then play Crimson Blaze for 5 to out that Pomon, so really doesn't want to have to deal with that. Could have been better to maybe just play the Crimson Blaze and then next turn just play the Akira and get the full effect to also bring out the Darulumon, right? But there very well might be why he decided to sequence this. And I think we see another Crimson Blaze in hand from Xross Heart, so that must feel pretty good. And also, this will probably make Bloomlord feel relatively safe. Because one Crimson Blaze is used, one is bottom decked, so... And yeah, I can say for sure I am not super familiar with how Xross Heart decks are built at this moment, and I'm pretty sure the Bloomlord player isn't either, because it's just not a very common deck to play against. So when you see double Crimson Blaze, you must feel pretty good when it's out of the game. You might even start not really playing around it. Blistamon coming down, Zenjiro gain memory, Akira draw a card. Sort of memory choking Bloomlordmon, however there's double memory boost on the field, so if he really wants to he can definitely try to push. We do know he has the Sunflower in hand. He can potentially suspend the Pomu to suspend the Ballistamon. Or to bring out the guy and then suspend the Ballistamon, which is going to happen here. If he wants to go a little bit aggro. Or maybe potentially even go into a Hydramon to bottom deck a Ballistamon, which is definitely a very strong play. Yeah, Crimson Blaze no longer in effect. Adding another Pomon of the Pelmon. Will we see Blossom on Hydramon? I definitely think it would be very strong if he did that. Okay, looking very likely now. Even though Bloomlord necessarily also wouldn't be bad, because it does give that little bit of early game aggression, gets 2 checks in, which is definitely nice. However, just fully getting rid of that Ballistamon, putting into the bottom deck to basically shut down Xross Heart from using, what's it called? The Shoutmon X4 and X5 in the future is also definitely very nice. Probably in the long game is... Okay, so this is rough, right? Because, like I said, probably you might just neglect the possibility of another Crimson Blaze here, which is definitely what Bruce is doing here by going pretty wide on little guys. And now the Crimson Blaze for 2, wiping out 3 guys is definitely going to be super strong. Yeah, exactly what we see. So definitely Xross Heart still in this game. Playing another Ballistamon. Still what he did last turn. We'll see how, or if Bloomlord gets back into this game. However, he doesn't really have the setup to play a lot of Digimon by card effects, so I doubt the first effect of Crimson Blaze really has a lot of effect on the game state right now. just because of the possibilities there are for Bloomlord. Red Vegemon is being hard played, boost being popped. Now we see Digisorb into Cherrymon, so it costs 1. Now we still might see the Hydramon. He's actually just going to swing in here. Oh, he hit into Zendro, that's pretty good for Xross Heart, bring out another Ballistamon. Oh, the Ballistamon that was under the other Zendro. And okay, yeah, we see the Hydramon come down, suspend one for the Ballistamon, gain a memory, and then bottom deck the Ballistamon. One Ballistamon down, 1 to go. If he does really want to shove access, of course. Which definitely is the strongest way to go about it, I think. And again, like I said earlier in the video, that's one of the things that really gives the Bloomlord deck the edge over this matchup, I think. Once again, we see the Grundle on the Hydramon. And yeah, I get that, because I really feel Hydramon is very, very hard to deal with for the Xross Heart deck. Just every time when you swing, you're going to be losing memory, especially in combination with Cherrymon, is very rough. If you're playing an aggro deck, it's also why T-Brigade is a real hard time against the Bloomlord deck. Because of the Cherrymon Hydramon combination, it's very hard to deal with if you're not really playing a control-y deck that has an inherent good way to get rid of those Digimon. Like some decks do. She got Vegemon play down again. Going to Agitar to Memory Choke to 1, that's nice. Starmon's being moved out, but yeah, he still can't. Yeah, well, he can attack if he really wants to draw, but he's just going to be losing out his guy, right? Or maybe he can bait and then play out the Shoutmon X5, I guess, or X4 to do something, or to try something, or maybe, you know, play a little bit of a mind game swing and then, you know, keep open the option that he has it, and then maybe Bruce won't use the Cherrymon effect. Yeah, lots of options, but there was no Shoutmon, so it wasn't really relevant. At least there wasn't. This didn't seem like a good opportunity to play it, right? So Agitar going to suspend the Pomu, going to bring out another Pomu, and Pomu's going to suspend the Ballistamon, suspend that blocker. Now maybe it's finally time to do a little bit of a push, because I don't think Bloomlord has swung showing off the what's it called? Not a delicate plan, but I always mix up those names. Hidden potential discovered, right? I don't know why, but I always mix up those names. Just going to swing with the Cherrymon, and I definitely think it's relatively safe to do this against this matchup, because most of the Digimon that are in the deck are relatively small. And we see Bloomlord, which is going to be able to attack for all the remaining security. So if there's another Bloomlord, this very likely will just be game. Hit to Kiraha, way too late, of course, and then okay, so that's it. Final Bloomlord coming down. Pretty good match in my opinion. Well played by both players. Fist bump at the end, and GG.